Jensen Huang just offered Sam Altman $100 billion, the biggest AI deal in history, enough money to buy Netflix twice. And Sam Altman walked away from it. February 3rd, 2026. Markets open, and Nvidia starts bleeding. Stock drops 3% in hours, crashes to 179.56, billions in market cap evaporating in real time. The reason? Reports that the $100 billion OpenAI partnership is dead, paused, scaled back, whatever word makes it sound less catastrophic. But here's what nobody's telling you. This isn't about money. This is about two men, two egos, and a war for control of the most powerful technology ever created. Jensen Huang versus Sam Altman. And only one of them is going to win. To understand why this deal collapsing matters, you need to understand what was actually at stake. Jensen Huang built Nvidia into a $2 trillion empire. His chips power every major AI system on the planet. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, all of it runs on Nvidia hardware. Without Jensen Huang, artificial intelligence doesn't exist, not as we know it. But here's Jensen's problem. He makes the picks and shovels. He doesn't own the gold mine. OpenAI does, Google does, Anthropic does. They're the ones building the AI that changes the world. Jensen just sells them the tools. And that power dynamic, it's been shifting. 2 years ago, Sam Altman needed Jensen, begged for chip allocations, waited in line like everyone else. Today, Sam Altman has Microsoft's backing, a $150 billion valuation, the most famous AI product on Earth. Today, Jensen Huang needs Sam Altman, and Sam Altman knows it. That's why Jensen put $100 billion on the table, and that's why what happened next changes everything. Jensen Huang and Sam Altman used to be allies. When OpenAI was just a scrappy nonprofit in 2015, Jensen personally donated one of the first DGX supercomputers, hand-delivered it to their office. There's photos of him doing it. Every breakthrough OpenAI made, GPT-2, GPT-3, GPT-4, ChatGPT, all running on Nvidia silicon. Jensen was the backbone of Sam's revolution. But here's what they don't tell you about Silicon Valley partnerships. They only last until someone gets more powerful. By 2024, Sam Altman wasn't the scrappy nonprofit guy anymore. He was the face of AI. Magazine covers, congressional hearings, meetings with world leaders. And Jensen? Jensen was watching his most important customer become his biggest threat. Because Sam Altman started talking about building his own chips, cutting Jensen out completely. That's when Jensen made his move. The $100 billion deal wasn't just an investment, it was a survival strategy. Here's what was on the table, according to multiple reports. Nvidia would pour up to $100 billion into OpenAI's infrastructure, dedicated chip supply, custom hardware development, priority access for years. In exchange, Sam Altman commits to Nvidia long-term. No switching to AMD, no building custom chips. Nvidia stays essential. For Jensen, this was insurance. His nightmare scenario is companies like OpenAI building their own silicon, making Nvidia irrelevant. This deal would prevent that. And for Sam, $100 billion in resources without giving up equity, without Microsoft getting more control. On paper, everyone wins. So what went wrong? Something happened in those final negotiations, something that made Sam Altman look at $100 billion and say no. And Jensen Huang's reaction? That's where this story gets interesting. February 3rd, reports leak that the deal is paused, maybe dead. The market reacts immediately. Nvidia tanks, headlines explode. And Jensen Huang goes silent. February 4th, tech Twitter is on fire, Reddit threads with 50,000 upvotes, everyone asking the same question, what happened? Jensen Huang, silent. February 5th. Analysts downgrading Nvidia, investors demanding answers. The biggest deal in AI history apparently dead. Jensen Huang still silent. Now, think about who Jensen Huang is. This is a CEO who wears leather jackets to keynotes, does cooking segments with tech reviewers, personally demos products on stage for hours. Jensen Huang loves the spotlight more than almost anyone in tech. And he won't say a single word about losing a $100 billion deal. That silence tells you everything. Meanwhile, Sam Altman, also quiet, but different quiet. Sam's silence feels strategic. Jensen's silence feels like damage control. And then the real story started leaking. Sources close to the negotiations say 3 things killed this deal. 1. Valuation disagreements. Sam wanted more, Jensen wanted to give less. Classic negotiation breakdown. 2. Control issues. Who gets decision-making power over the chips? Sam Altman doesn't share control with anyone. But here's the one nobody's talking about. Free, Microsoft. Microsoft owns 49% of OpenAI. A $100 billion Nvidia deal changes that power balance completely. And Satya Nadella did not become the most successful CEO in tech by letting other people control his most important asset. There's a very real possibility that this deal didn't die. It was killed. Here's what I think happens next, and I want you to hold me to this. Prediction 1. This deal isn't dead. It's being renegotiated. Both sides meet each other too much for this to end here. Watch for news in the next 30 to 60 days. Different terms, smaller number, but something will happen. Prediction 2, Microsoft makes a move. If this deal truly collapses, Satya Nadella will fill that gap himself. Expect Microsoft to announce expanded OpenAI infrastructure investment within weeks. Prediction 3, Jensen breaks his silence soon. He has to. Nvidia cannot let this narrative control their stock price. Expect a statement, an interview, something to reassure investors. And prediction 4, this isn't the last battle. Jensen and Sam are now officially competitors as much as partners. The race to control AI just got a lot more personal. The question isn't whether they'll clash again, it's who blinks first. So here's where we are. Jensen Huang built a $2 trillion empire selling picks and shovels to the AI gold rush. Sam Altman built the gold mine. Jensen offered $100 billion to stay essential, to lock in his position, to make sure he couldn't be replaced. And Sam Altman looked at that $100 billion and decided he'd rather keep his options open. That tells you everything about where power in AI is actually shifting. This isn't about chips anymore. It's not about hardware. It's about who controls what comes next. Jensen Huang offered everything he had to stay in that conversation, and Sam Altman said no. Remember that the next time someone tells you Nvidia is irreplaceable, because Sam Altman just proved they're not.